All right, so it looks like folks are starting to pop in. So I wanted to thank you very much for joining us for ProtectCon 2025. This is a new format for us. Some of you may have attended some of our conferences in live space. Some of you may attend some of our other virtual type of events. But this year we're trying a new branding opportunity in order to better reach a wider audience of advocates, allies, excuse me, and those working with us to combat domestic violence, human trafficking, and stalking and harassment. So first thing, a little bit about us. So Operation Safe Escape is a 501c3 nonprofit organization, and we focus on helping individuals to escape domestic violence, stalking, and harassment. We bring together subject matter experts working in different disciplines and different fields that can work seamlessly and collaboratively in order to help people to escape. We're very proud. We've participated in over 4,000 successful escapes. We're also a founding member of the Coalition Against Stalkerware. Our core mission is to help vulnerable individuals escape abuse, stalking, harassment, and trafficking. The way that we work is we work with three basic pillars. The first is directly with the survivors and their support systems. The idea is to help them stay safe in all security domains. So that may be a circumstance where an individual contacts us to reach for help. That may be a circumstance where we reached out on behalf of that individual. Excuse me for 1 second while I fix my screen. Great, thank you. That may also be helping the person to reduce their digital footprint. In other words, to stay safe, to stay hidden once they escape their situation. We work with the individual from the beginning from the phase where they're planning and effecting the escape, as they go through the entirety of the process to where they make that plan to where they are safe. Our second pillar, which are events like this, is to support our partners and our allies. So we work to improve shelter and safe house security. We advise on security and safety matters. And we work with personnel security measures in order to help shelters, safe houses, social workers, legal advocates, and others in order to better protect their clients and also themselves. Our third pillar is advocacy and education. So we help public safety to better support survivors. There's many circumstances where public safety, such as police officers or other first responders, may not be familiar with new and emerging threats. So by working with those individuals, we can make sure that the advice they're giving is actionable and accurate. We advocate for legislation and policy changes. We're very proud that we've testified on Capitol Hill several times on legislative changes and proposed laws so that we can make sure that the needs of the survivor is heard. We also advocate to the security community. So we live kind of in the middle. So we're advocates that speak to the security community and the technical community, but we're also security and technical people that can bring that information to the survivor space, to the advocacy community. So by working with all three of those seamlessly, we're able to attack the problem holistically and try to combat the core causes and roots of domestic violence. There we go. We work in different domains. A lot of our work is in the IT and the InfoSec world. That's working with trying to prevent hacking, trying to prevent stalkerware, trying to prevent technical types of attack. We also work in the physical security domain, meaning referring to alarms and locks and keys. We work in digital forensics. This is a constant issue where in many cases the survivor knows that something's happened to their device, but they have difficulty in convincing and compelling local law enforcement to act. So by working with them and helping educate the local law enforcement, helping to find those indicators, we can help them take that next step towards prosecution, restraining other orders, or other legal measures. We work in OSINT, we work in OPSEC. So those work fairly hand in hand. OSINT refers to open source intelligence. So that's finding information that's in the public domain. That's a special concern for survivors because as they're trying to stay safe, as they're trying to start over in their new life, it can be very easy to leak information. So we help them to figure out where that information is leaking and how to plug it. Also on the flip side is the OPSEC piece. OPSEC stands for Operations Security. And that is those processes in order to hide your indicators, in order to stay safe by not revealing the information that you're trying to protect. We work when needed in the counter-espionage area. Sometimes it does mean in the traditional sense, but in many cases, the same techniques that state actors are using for espionage are also ones that individuals are using against survivors. So we apply some of those same techniques using some of the same training and tools in order to protect survivors from a new emerging threat. We work in the area of threat intelligence, trying to find out where it is. We're trying to find out what it is that is emerging, what it is that is continuing to grow as a threat to the survivor space. And hardware and software reverse engineering in the sense of trying to find out where it is that the threats may come from. In many cases, we're seeing things that are tampered with. We're seeing things that are designed in order to allow for stalking and harassment. So we combat that in different ways as well. We're proud that we currently have a stable of 118 active volunteers in 6 countries. We have a presence in all 50 states. We never say no to a request for help, in the sense that if we're able to, we'll do whatever we can. In many cases, we get volunteers from other countries that aren't sure if they can help. In many cases, we get survivors from other countries that don't know if they have resources. We'll always do what we can to help in any way that we can. As an organization, we're trauma informed. Our leadership and our executive staff takes the same 80-hour course that shelters, safe houses, and other social workers do. But we also work pro bono, in that all that we do is bringing those highly skilled individuals to work at no cost to the survivors. Some of our key program areas include client support. This is really our core mission area. We want to help survivors escape and stay safe after they do. Sometimes that's simple. Sometimes that's a matter of helping them to figure out how to search for things on their computer without leaving a trace. Sometimes that's a matter of giving solid advice on how it is that they can get out to the advocates that are looking to help them. Sometimes it's far more complex. In some cases, we work with survivors for years in order to make sure that they can go from the planning phase, the preparation phase, to the escape. One of our newest areas is called applied intelligence. Applied intelligence is our offensive capability. It allows us to target, disrupt, and aid in the prosecution of human trafficking, child trafficking, and CSAM groups and others. So this is using those skills we mentioned before, OSINT. OSINT can be used defensively or offensively, and allows us to actually find and disrupt the groups. We work to unmask them and to work with law enforcement to enable prosecution. We're standing up the first DV ISAC. An ISAC, if you're not familiar with the concept, is an information sharing and analysis center. These are things that allow different sectors to share information securely, privately, and in a way that allows them to work together better. The concept actually started with the financial sector, in which certain banks were getting attacked. They were losing money. They were being attacked by groups and scammed out of funds. They didn't want to tell their competitors. They didn't want to tell their clients. So often these things weren't widely reported. So finally, as organizations continued to lose money, they realized they had to work closer together and find a secure way to share information so they can alert one another to the threats. We're standing the first ISAC that supports DV advocates, public safety, and industry, bringing each together so that we can share information, share resources, and help one another to protect one another and our shared clients. The advocacy piece is a strong part of what we do. It allows us to promote social and legislative changes to address the current and emerging threats. So in this case, we're very active as new legislation is proposed or considered in order to make sure that the voice of the survivors is heard. Partner support is our second tier, and again, another core piece of what we do. We support the shelters, the safe houses, the social workers, and other allied groups. We want them to be able to protect themselves and their staff, but also to be able to better protect their clients as they come to them for help. We believe that once someone escapes, they need to have a safe place to go to. So we'll always work to help our partners stay ahead of the evolving threat. Applied technology is, again, another new branch. This is the branch that allows us to design high-tech and innovative approaches to protecting survivors. It's using technology in different ways. It's using new technologies in ways they hadn't been used before and applying them towards the survivor space. This is helping us to counter the increasingly technically sophisticated threat that abusers and adversaries bring. And education and awareness. allows us to educate our survivors, our allies, the public, and other groups on tech, safety, and advocacy. This is really our outreach piece, where we're trying to educate others on the threats that may involve them or their loved ones. I would like to welcome you to ProtectCon. This is one of our efforts to do outreach, to educate, to inspire, to make aware, to raise awareness. For this event, we're bringing together subject matter experts and world-class experts in different technologies to help to educate the survivor space. At the same time, in order to bring together the security, the technical, the InfoSec world, all of these other technical spaces towards a shared goal. We have a very exciting lineup. I'm very excited about seeing some of these speakers, and some I've seen many times. Always a great event when these are involved. First, Shannon Miller. We'll talk. This is not in order. This is in the order as it was on the agenda. Shannon Miller will be speaking of privacy fundamentals, precautions, and practices. Caitlin Bowden, why your privacy matters and how to take it back. Julie Beck, survivor to hunter, an overcomer's story of surviving domestic violence and cult control. Bryson Bort with a new event called the Security Choose Your Own Adventure. Will Baggett, Broken Arrow, detangling domestic disputes digitally. Edna Johnson, revenge porn and deep fake image shakedowns. Rudy Wang, cell phone security and safety. Samantha Gamble, targeting disrupting online child exploitation groups. And Sojalita and Raya will tell us how to use Tails, the Amnesiac Incognito live system. I'll introduce Alyssa Miller for the keynote presentation at 2:10 p.m. Eastern. Alyssa is the CISO for Epic Global, a member of Women in Cybersecurity, WISES, for the Racial Equity Committee, a frequent speaker of multiple events, to include the RSA Conference, the Diana Initiative, B-Sides Las Vegas, TEDx, and more. I'd like to give a special thanks to Tony Hunt, El Marquez, Zachariah Holland, all working behind the scenes, trying to keep things running, despite my technical challenges right before this, helped to get it together and back on track, so thank you. Joseph Cox and Jesse Hernandez doing the same. I'd like to talk for a moment about some housekeeping, discussion, interaction. Most sessions will have chat enabled throughout. Some will have it disabled until the end, but presenters may not answer them until the end. If the presenter expresses a desire to answer questions at the end, I ask that you please do keep your comments to that point. The very notable exception is Bryson Bort's Choose Your Own Adventure. It's fully interactive, and he requests as much engagement as possible. If you have comments as he asks his questions, as he leads us through this digital adventure, please feel free to raise your hand so that you can speak with audio or use your chat function. Questions can be sent at any time and optionally relayed anonymously to questions@safeescape.org. If you have general questions or questions for any of the presenters, feel free to email that if you don't ask it in the chat.